Hi all, welcome to the State of the Sector meeting quarter two. I'm just going to run through this presentation to just give you a little bit of a better insight of the things that have been achieved this year, the structures, finances, those sort of things. So just going to go on to the agenda for the presentation. Touch on all the key objectives, finance and structure. So just a high level overview of finance, metrics, and the structure that we're trying to adopt. Our who, what, where. So the first three sections of the Vision Traction Organizer, or the VTO. Key information updates, what's on the horizon, closing remarks, and questions. So questions via this means is just sending me an email. So objectives: understand our basic business model, understand what we're currently achieving, understand the key areas that we're improving, the core that we should all be focused on, adhering to the core values, what is the core purpose, and where are we going, what is the vision. Understand our current priorities and how we can all work on these together, and then underline by next steps. So this is the first model. Some of you may have seen it before, maybe the first time you've seen it, but ultimately this is the business model that we've implemented since taking over in April 2022. So as you can see, there's 6 circles on the outside with sport and fitness and iron leisure in the middle. So that is us, that's our business, and these are the 6 key components that we've been working on. So vision at 12 o'clock, I think, vision and people are the most important element. So you, the staff, but ultimately having people is great. If they don't know where they're going, it's really difficult to manage. So ultimately vision is at the top, followed by 2 questions, 8 questions that are being answered within the VTO, and followed by everyone adhering, everyone knowing what each of the sections are, and what we're working towards. So come to the left, people, right people in the right seat. So what do we mean by right people? Right people share our core values. They share the tip, teamwork, integrity, passion, and professionalism. Right seats is GWC, gets it, wants it, and has the capacity to do it. So they get the job they are employed to do. They want to be in the job they're employed to do. And they don't just have the time capacity, they have the physical, intellectual, and emotional capacity to be within that role. Come across to the right, data. Ultimately, if we liken this to golf, golf wouldn't be as fun if you weren't keeping score. If you just kept hitting the ball onto a field and you're not counting the shots, how well do you actually know you're doing? You don't. So we need to track data. So we track data via sales, sales and memberships. We track data via how many children are within our swim school. We track data now on utilities. Utilities have risen exponentially this financial year. So we've been tracking those metrics to try and reduce the usage or install interventions that are going to reduce utilities. So we've got a scorecard. We, as a leadership team, we work on that scorecard. We look, make sure that we're on track with our membership sales, make sure that attrition, so the churn or drop off of memberships is at a level that we can manage, and we are continuously growing. And to date, we've grown now consecutively for the last 22 months. So that's down to you guys, and the achievements of the culture, and the customer experience when they come into our centres. As you can see, there's measurables. So measurables is something that can be associated to everyone's job. So take an example of a receptionist. How many rings does the phone have before picking it up? Ultimately, we know that receptionists, they're doing a lot. They're selling memberships, they're answering phones, they're dealing with customers, getting people to where they come into the centre to go. So, measurables are not in place at the moment, but that is something that we're going to be looking at going forward. Issues, bottom left, issues these are not just bad things, issues. People usually perceive issues as negative. Issues are, questions, unrealized opportunities, potential trends. Obviously, some issues are negative, customer complaints, but ultimately customer complaints or customer feedback is a learning curve. How can we do things better the next time around? So we've created an issues list, a sport and fitness issues list. We go through that weekly in our clarity meetings, we go through that monthly in strategic meetings, and we go through it quarterly in our quarterly offsite meetings as well. And it is followed by IDS, which stands for identify what the issue is, ask why 5 times. So an issue that is raised, why is that issue occurring? Is it something that needs to be dealt with? So if we keep asking the question why, we will get to the root cause of the issue, so we don't find that issue reoccurs in the future. Discuss, get the right people around a table, a screen, however we choose to meet these days. Discuss how the issue can be resolved. Everyone to have their say, which is healthy conflict, and I'll come on to that in the next slide. And then we progress to create a resolution plan. So one person takes that plan and they endeavour to solve that issue once they leave the room. So they challenge the week after to state how they solved the issue. So that is ultimately IDS. Process, so bottom right, processes are the way we operate within an Iron Leisure. So how we open a building, how we manage the pool, how we manage a swimming lesson, a fitness class. It's basically our day-to-day workflows. How do we do what we do? Ultimately, there's variations and inconsistencies across all of our sites. So this is something that we're going to be focused on in the coming months to try and improve this section. Get processes which are black and white. Everyone knows how to do the tasks they should be doing, and carry those task procedures and adhere to policies as well. So those processes, again, they need to be followed by everyone. The last one, direction. I don't know if anyone's seen the image of business, and multiple arrows pointing different directions. Ultimately, we all need to be pointing in the same direction. So this is down to communication. Communicating often with our teams, with the people around us, communicating our main priorities. So, you've probably heard of ROCs by now. So ROCs are our 90-day priorities. They are what myself and the leadership team, we assess what is the most important thing that we need to work on as an individual and as a team within sport and fitness. What do we need to get under control, and what is our biggest return opportunity? What is our biggest return task? So ROCs, we communicate these, and meetings, having that pulse of meetings, the heartbeat of, we meet every Monday as facility managers, we meet every Thursday as a holistic leadership team. The managers meet every week. Meetings are required so we can share the correct information and people know what is coming, and you can get things off your chest as well. Ultimately, feedback is good, and two-way feedback, not just from a manager down, but from a recreation assistant, a cleaner up. We can share experiences. And it's always best to be open and honest. Start with the policies that we implemented from the Office of Leadership team. So coming to teamwork, this is the team building pyramid. It consists of 5 steps: trust, healthy conflict, commitment, accountability, and results. Teamwork is the T of TIP. It is an important core value that we should all adopt and share. Ultimately, no one within sport and fitness, within leisure, can do their jobs in isolation. We need everyone else around us, and okay, that's indirect teamwork. But to give an example of teamwork with events in Everville Sports Centre, events in an Evervale Sports Centre are so successful because the team come together. It's organised. Someone dealing with event organisers, getting all the needs on the table. How can we meet those needs? How many staff do we need on the day to set up, take down, manage, run the bar? All those things coming together creates everyone knowing what they're doing. That is directly working as a team, implicit trust. You trust the person that's working next to you, they're going to do the best job possible, and in return you're going to do the same for them. That is implicit trust, and that is what we need to create the best culture within an Iron Leisure and Sport and Fitness. So if you've got trust, you can have that healthy conflict. Like I said in the last slide, communication is key. If communication becomes personal, that is not the type of conflict that we're looking for. That is unhealthy conflict. That is people not sharing the same core values, not liking other individuals. Ultimately, communicate, have a conversation, have that healthy conflict for the benefit of the service. We all work for an Iron Leisure. An Iron Leisure doesn't work for us. So we're all part of the service. We are all employees of an Iron Leisure. So we need to trust each other. We need to have that healthy conflict so we can commit to things. So commitment, this level, the middle level, this is the turning point. There's 3 levels to this. People can resist. So if you've had conflict, if you don't agree with an idea, but you've been heard, you can commit to it. If you've got that understanding from the person communicating with you, ultimately you can commit to an idea with his rationale behind it. If someone is forcing you to do something, you'll probably resist it. So the first level is resistance. If I came to an individual and said, this is what you're doing, they haven't had a chance to have their say, they don't trust my judgment, ultimately they are going to resist that idea. The second level is compliance. It's doing something because you were being told you need to do it, and you're afraid of the connotations if you don't do that thing. So ultimately, compliance is doing it because you are forced to do it. Commitment is you agree with something. Even though you might have had a different idea, you agree with the idea that's been proposed and the idea that is being taken forward by the team. So commitment, you need to be able to commit to be accountable for something. Accountability is probably the most difficult section on this pyramid, purely for the fact you need trust, have that discussion, healthy conflict, commit to be accountable. If you didn't agree, if you didn't have your say, you're never going to be accountable. You will always say in the back of your mind, I didn't agree with that idea in the first place. Whereas if you've committed to something, you are accountable for your part in that idea or that rollout or that project. So accountability is holding yourself to the highest possible standards to carry out tasks as a team. If you have trust, you can have conflict, you can have discussion, you can communicate effectively, you can commit, you can be accountable for things, results will come. Results are already coming. The culture has changed. We're working better as a team, and not just a team of Abbotsleary, Evervale and Tredegar Sports Centre, but a team of sport and fitness holistically. And that incorporates the National Exercise Referral guys, the sports development guys, and the guys that are managing and running swimming lessons, which is, one of the best programs that we offer, not just in Blaenau Gwent, but across Wales. So, results can always be better, and it can always be better by working better as a team. So sector updates. So this is the metrics and finances. I'm just going to touch on this one. Growth basically is memberships sold outweighing cancellations. So as you can see, we sold 838 memberships from July to the end of September, 838. So you can see the breakdown: July, August and September. We had 557 cancellations. Again, you can see the breakdown per month. Curbed members. So this is curbed members are the ones that there's an issue with bank details on direct debits. They come to the reception teams each month. The receptionists, they pick up the phone, they have a conversation with individuals who have an issue with their bank accounts, and they get that individual to pay their debts. Ultimately, if we didn't pick up the phone, they would be cancelled members. So as you can see, July 47, August 47, September 45. So 139 retained members. Those 139 would have dropped off and we would have lost that revenue had the reception team not picked up the phone and just had a conversation. So growth overall for Q2, 420, and that is net. So cancellations, current members minus cancelled members. So that's an amazing effort with a target of 160. The target was slightly lower this year, and the reason behind that was we didn't know what the cost of living crisis was going to look like. Obviously, the utility crisis, people struggling financially. So we put it slightly lower, but we are on target for a net growth for the year, so 23-24 of just over 2,000. So that is that's an amazing effort. Financial position, so we had a target of 605,000 net income for Q2. We hit £681,787. So, you know, all in all, we hit well over £70,000 additional to our revenues. As you can see, expenditure, so the total amount that we paid out on salaries, suppliers, utilities was just over £1 million. So that gives us a net deficit for Q2, so July to the end of September, of £320,000. So on the back of that, we have a management fee which is given to us from the council to top us up to sustainability levels, and what that means is we have enough money to pay our wages, pay our bills, pay our suppliers, and be at that break-even point. So even though we're at a deficit, our revenue, so the amount of money that we take over the counter, is far higher than it was this time last year, which was 595,000 this time last year. So close to £100,000 higher in revenues this financial year. So this is our VTO. This is the two-page strategy of who we are, what we do, where we're going, how we're going to get there, and how those steps are broken down into more manageable, shorter steps. So core values, tip, teamwork, integrity, passionate, and professional. These core values, you know, they shouldn't just be done in isolation. You know, if you're a great team worker, but you know you're not honest, you're not trustworthy, ultimately you haven't got integrity, you know, you're not going to be the best team player. If you're not passionate about what we do within sport and fitness, which is, you know, what a sector or an industry to be involved in, where you can see tangible results, improving people's lives, improving the community that we live in, you know, being passionate about this this industry is an easy thing to be passionate about. Professional, a lot of people, when they think of professional, they think of shirt, tie, people saying things in a certain way, standing up tall, good posture. Ultimately, we are a part of the leisure industry, and the leisure industry should be fun and fair. And what I mean by that is, you know, we should enjoy what we do. We should have smiles on our faces. We should be living what we are trying to provide to our customers, but still knowing we need to be fair. There is a line, and we've still got a job to do, and we should be doing that job to the best of our ability. We all get paid for what we do, and we get paid well for what we do. So ultimately is knowing when you're in work, you can differentiate your leisure time to your work time, and you give what you can. You give 100% when you're in work. And going back to integrity, integrity is a cornerstone to all other core values. And what I mean by this is it's underpinned by being honest and being trustworthy, knowing that, you come into work, you're going to do the things you need to do. You're going to work as a team. You're going to do those hard things when the door is closed. You're not going to get any gratification for what you're doing, but you know it's your job. It needs to be done, and you will do it to the best of your ability. And that is what integrity is. Coming down to the core focus, so this is what we do best. Our purpose: to enhance the lives of customers and staff, one interaction at a time. What a statement. We enhance the lives of every service user who walks through our door and the people we work with. And it's based on one interaction. So what I mean by that is every interaction is important. We have 6,500 members. That is 6,500 interactions, possibly on a weekly basis. So we need to make sure those interactions are the best interactions they can be, because this may be the only outlet that a customer or a colleague will have in the day. We never know what they're going back to when they leave our facilities. Our niche, so a niche is something that we do better than anyone else, any of our competitors within our industry, helping our community achieve health, fitness, and well-being goals together. I think competitors could say they help people achieve health, fitness, and well-being goals. They don't do it together. They pick demographics that they like to work with. We do it for every demographic from the age of 4 months to 90 plus. And a story about a 90 plus nurse client that I seen utilising the hack squat in Everville Sports Centre. We diversify the status quo of what people at certain age groups can do. And that's what I love about our service is we are diverse, and we give an opportunity to everyone, every level, every ability, every age. And it's definitely something we can all be passionate about. 10-year target. So this is where we're going. This is our vision: to have a happy, healthy, and committed workforce generating £3.5 million in revenue with a 10% profit. So £300,000 to reinvest back into our facilities, services, people, structures. The big change on this one is we put the qualitative part first. So the people first, our staff, you come first, and then the revenue comes second, and that's the way it should be. Ultimately, we want a happy, healthy, and committed people working towards achieving that revenue, and that's the change that we made for this quarter of this year. So this document is always a work in progress. Target market, so our marketing strategy. How are we going to achieve that 10-year target? So we broke it down into profiles, so demographic, geographic, and psychographic profiles. Demographic is age and gender split. Geographic is where they live. Psychographic is how they think. So these are our customers. So demographic, age between 28 to 38. With a 51 to 49 split female to male ratio. So this is all the information that we extract from Gladstone, our management information system, the system that the receptionists use. Geographic is primarily Blaenau and Gwent, but also the surrounding areas. An example of this is Merthyr swimming pool has been closed for just before COVID, so just before 2020. We achieved an upsell in our swim school in Tredegar because it's the closest facility that offers swimming lessons. So we cashed in, but we cashed in because we've got a quality product as well. Our swimming lesson, like I said, is the best swim school in Wales, and what I mean by that is per capita, per population, we have the best penetration rate of a certain age category come into our swimming lessons. Psychographic is the way people think. People have a need to be healthy, but they have that need at a competitive price, a price that they feel that they can afford, but also they can have value when they come to our facilities too. So psychographic is the need to be healthy at a competitive price. We've got 3 uniques. So uniques are what differentiates us, Iron Leisure, Sport and Fitness, from your Planet Fitness, your Fresh Actives, your Community Fitness. you'll see there's one yellow, and I'm going to be sending a quiz out after this presentation, and we don't quite believe in number 2. We want your opinion on what number 2 should look like. So number 1, we develop life skills for people of all ages. We've got that continuum from 4 months to 90 plus. Number 3, we create proven results and change lives. We do, and we will be capturing more testimonials and case studies to prove this is what we do within our service offering. Number 2 is we put the customer's needs first always. We discussed as a leadership team that we don't believe we do that, and we don't believe that not everyone does it. You know, there's certain individuals that will drop everything and work with the customer, listen to their feedback, but we know, you know, myself included, is there's different priorities, and you know, we don't drop what we're doing to go and deal with customer feedback, customer complaints, observations, you know, so that one we didn't really think rung true for 100% of our customers and staff. So I want your opinion on this. So within the quiz that I'll send after this presentation, have a look. There's an option to add your opinion on what that unique should look like, that differentiator that puts us above our competitors. The proven process life cycle, obviously our brand is BG Life. Life cycle, this is something that we're working on at the moment, so this is a work in progress, and you will see this come to fruition in Q1. So from January to the end of March, we should have a customer journey that is consistent, that has been trained to all of our teams, and our customers get the biggest benefit from. So that is something that is going to be rolled out in 2024. 3-year picture, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but ultimately we work our way backwards from 10-year, 3-year to make sure that we're on track. We're putting the right processes, putting the right goals in place to make sure that we can achieve that 3.5 million in revenues with a happy, healthy and committed workforce by that 10-year point. So like I said, 2.85 million in 3 years. So the 1st of April 2026, 15% net loss, so minus 475,000. We are going to a new cycle with the council, our 5-year contract period. So, you know, there is an option, there's a few options that are floating around that we can offer the council, which will hopefully reduce that deficit even further. Measurables, obviously we're measured against memberships. Memberships include both swim school and gym memberships. So that is the thing, that's the main thing that we measure against. That is our recurring revenue. So we've got 12%, 760 by that point, but ultimately that will vary based on society, technology, the economy, all different things. So you know, we've built this with that in mind as well. This is the second part of the VTO. So these are the last 3 questions, the 1-year plan, the questions we answered for that. So by the 1st of April 2024, we want to hit £2.62 million in revenue, 32% net loss, so £1.1 million deficit. That will be topped up by the £3.2 million management fee that the council give us year on year. The reason it's higher, so we hit 21% last year. The reason it's 32% is utilities rose by 200% this year. So electricity went from 16 pence a kilowatt to 43 pence a kilowatt. Just on an example of the magnitude of kilowatts we use 1.1 million kilowatts of electricity in Ebervale each year. So you know, the difference from 16 pence to 43 pence is massive, and that's the reason we've gone from £560,000 deficit to £1.1 million deficit. But things are looking better for forecasts for the next financial year. Net memberships up by 21%, so that is a figure of 1,344 new members within our database this year. So we're well on track for that. As you can see, it was 420 net growth last quarter. It was 450 the month before that. We know Q3, so October, November and December is a quieter period. A lot of people think with their pockets this time of year, you know, if I cancel my membership, I can get more presents for my kids. So, you know, all those factors, they are factored into the rationale behind why everything looks the way it looks. So as you can see, there's goals for the year there. One of the big ones is reduction in utilities by 50,000 over a 6-month period. We've invested in solar panels, air handling units, new motors that is going to reduce our overall utility consumption this year. Quality Rocks, again, cutting down the big 12-month goals into more manageable 90-day projects. The reason for the 90-day projects is humans can only really concentrate on projects fully for a 90-day period. So that's why we create these 90-day rocks. So we've got on there the 4th of the 1st, 2024. And the reason we did that was because we split things out equally over the 4 quarters of the year. So again, 32% net loss, 950,000. We were slightly above this, but last quarter, so quarter 2, it included quite a lot of servicing on boilers, CHPs, which was the reason that our net loss was up higher than the 950,000 stated there. Measurables, net memberships up 3%, 180. We hope even in quarter 3 that we will be higher than that, but as you can see from quarter 2, we hit 420 growth for memberships. Just a few things. Performance management process implemented by leadership team. You know, so we are looking at performance appraisals, one-to-one documents, and rolling those things out come 2024. Procuring new air handling motors and installing those across all sites to reduce our utilities. So everything goes into the 1-year goal. So there's smaller steps for the bigger goals, which all progress up towards our 10-year target. Issues list. The reason we've got an issues list is like, why didn't you put that into any of the other sectors? The reason we've got this is because we don't know where it fits. You know, we're dealing with third parties, resource teams, suppliers. We don't know where it lies in terms of priorities, so that's the reason that we've got an issues list as well. So little to no marketing outside of facilities. The reason we didn't put on a 1-year plan is like, have we got enough money within the budget, the marketing budget, to go externally? External marketing is more expensive. Is there a need for it? Obviously, we're generating more memberships, so that means that word of mouth is getting out there. People enjoy our service, so you know, we don't quite know where it fits, but we know long-term plan is we do need more marketing outside of our facilities to change people's mindsets and say, okay, maybe I will take a membership out at an Iron Leisure. So they are the 8 questions on the VTO. Just to summarize some of the things that we've achieved this financial year so far. So I've already alluded to it, but we drew down £261,000 from Sport Wales to invest in solar panels. So we've got solar panels now at Ebervale Sports Centre, Tredegar and Abertillery Sports Centre. That's going to generate a saving of around £120,000 to £150,000 per year. And that's based on next year's tariffs, which are going to be lower. So it's still a bigger saving because we'll be paying less for our electricity. We've achieved another grant through Sport Wales to update our air handling unit motors. So that was £137,000. And on the back of that, that is going to save us around £100,000 a year. New health and safety platform investment. So we've digitized the check sheets, and we'll be able to manage things better. You know, we'll be able to archive, we'll be able to look at maintenance issues, issues with equipment and facilities, and we'll be able to keep on top of it. We've invested in eGym, which is our new digital app platform for our customers to interact with, to work with personal trainers, to stay engaged with the gym even when they're not in the gym. So that's going to be rolled out from December into January. New bikes have been ordered for Ebervale Sports Centre. We can see that there's been quite a lot of negative feedback around the bikes in Ebervale Sports Centre. The bikes depreciated, which means we're no longer paying for them over a 5-year period. So now we can invest in those, and there's no additional costs against our profit and loss sheet, which is how we measure our financial clarity, how well we're doing in terms of profit and loss. Multiple MPLQ courses have been completed. The staff training team, Lewis Williams, done a great job to use this as not only additional revenue but also a recruitment platform. Potentially 8 to 12 individuals that are going through that training to become lifeguards, recreation assistants, and during that time there's a recruitment process as well. So a lot of those people go into the agency staffing and start working for An Iron Leisure. There's been continued growth in the memberships. Like I said, 22 months consecutively we've grown, 6,500 members. 2,021 of those are within the swim school. So the first time we've ever gone over 2,000 swimmers in our swim school. So amazing effort, everyone involved in the swim school. Chris Kibbe, the swimming leads at each of the sites, the swimming teachers, absolutely amazing effort. And there's so many good news stories from swim school as well. Community kit room, leading the way, giving people the opportunity to participate in physical activity who sometimes can't afford kit to participate, to come to the gyms, to take part in sport in schools. Amazing. This just summarizes enhancing the lives of customers one interaction at a time, giving them the opportunity to participate in the first place. That is absolutely amazing. New pathways that have been implemented through the National Exercise Referral Team. There's now a neurological pathway, working closer with the musculoskeletal team in Ysbyty and Nair and Bevan. So they're actually using our facilities now to run some of their sessions and services. So I'm sure there's going to be more developments with more pathway specific opportunities through NERS coming soon as well. And the success of our events, some of the events, let's take Kids Warriors 142, Ebervale was sandwiched between San Diego and Miami, and Ebervale in the middle. So to pull that one off, it just shows how well the events are doing. Music events with the likes of Cascada playing, and there's another event coming up next year with Darren Styles headlining. Absolutely amazing. MMA, boxing, but the themed events as well across all sites. It was sort of the togetherness of the Halloween events. Absolutely amazing. Teams coming together, that teamwork, that team building pyramid that is demonstrated more than ever during the events that we roll out. So there's great things that have been achieved this year. Like I said about utilities, they are forecasted to come down next year, which should alleviate some of the pressures. There's other things, irons in the fire, that we're looking at to increase retention in memberships, give people a reason to stay, upsell our services, our products. There's a lot coming up. So next steps is we'll send out this quiz to everyone. All the information that you need for that quiz is in this presentation, so have a look through. Please ask any questions, if it's to me, if it's to your managers. Ask questions if you don't understand something, if you want to pose an idea, if you don't agree with things. We want that feedback. We want everyone to have a say, so we can commit, be accountable, and generate those results together. Thanks for listening, guys. Like I said, there's going to be a quiz that will be alongside of this presentation. So please have a read through, answer it, send it back, and ask any questions you may have. Thanks, guys.